Can't tell if I'm live right now. Oh, can you guys hear me? Am I really live? They're confusing. Did I do it? Did you guys? Great. Seen some hearts pop up. Can you guys hear me? Can I be heard? Anybody? Gavin Ivanov, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Now with the now we can hear you. Okay, great, great, guys. Oh my goodness, I just hopped on today to do some work on this here axe, and I was like, I usually stream for Twitch, and I stopped streaming for Twitch because Twitch is no good. Twitch is dead. But I figured I should go try it on YouTube. I'm bigger on YouTube anyway. So, yeah. Hi everybody, welcome to my stream. I'm not set up at all yet. I haven't set up YouTube at all. This is, if you're watching this right now, Disco Lemonade, Mustafa Rahimi, Enzo Jaretta, guys, you guys are my first YouTube live stream viewers ever. Maybe not ever, but almost ever. So cool. That's cool. Great. So today, I haven't been here for a while, so today I'm working on something new. I don't know how many of you guys know this, of the 10, 12 people watching right now, but I am creating a graphic novel called Quiet Level 1. It's going to be dope. And the villain, what up, Maleficent? Oh, Primal Gamer, got your Marvel Anatomy book for my birthday a couple months ago. I think your Venom of Ghost Rider is my Venom and Ghost Rider pages are my favorite. Dude, some of mine too. Thank you for liking those. I first saw, I'm not a big comic guy, but I first saw Venom and Ghost Rider together when I was like 12 in Spirits of Vengeance. I just had like one random issue somebody gave me, and it blew my mind. All right, Bushman says, what art application do you use? I use Photoshop. No, I don't use Photoshop. I use Procreate. I used to use Photoshop. I don't really use it much anymore. Question, everybody. Let me just find out real quick if I can. If I just go to general load draws, I'm live. Okay, great. Go to the live link. Oh, that's what I do. Okay, great. I don't use Photoshop. Now I know. So let me just tell Twitter real quick that I'm here. Streaming creation of an axe on YouTube. On YouTube. Yeah, it's not well thought out, but I wanted to be quick, dirty, just so we could hang out and not have to talk too much. When are you going to upload the jogger for Skyrim in Nexus? Says Mustafa Rahim. Which jogger do you mean? Do you mean like my edited versions of them? Is that what you mean? Because those are PBR textures, which means that they won't really work in Skyrim proper. Maybe in like if there's like plugins or something like that. But I signed up for interest. I signed up for interest in the Kickstarter. Woo! Maleficent, thank you. You're awesome. Good afternoon, Dragon Still Sage. Hello, hello. Yeah, so Quiet Level 1, you guys. I'm working on this today. It's gonna be great. And sign in through my own. Great. Sorry, just trying to post something in the chat. I've never done this before. I've never streamed on YouTube ever, so that's fun. Okay. All right. I like the dragon or creature face in the blade of the axe. It looks cool. Thank you. So let me show you some more. I'm not inventing this in one sitting. Let me show you, will you ever work on any games? I mean, beyond Skyrim and Fallout? Maybe, maybe. I worked on those two, but nothing else since then. Well, no, that's not true. I worked on one AAA title with Adobe, but that was a secret and that got canceled. And then I worked on a indie game for a year and a half and that also got canceled. So this is the axe. This is the axe from an angle, whatever. So today, I am doing this axe in an orthoscopic view. And I'm doing it because there's a fantastic prop maker named Punish Props. And he'll be making this for the Kickstarter itself. So in order to help him out with that, he and his wife, I'm recreating the axe here in 3D. And so doing that requires that I look a lot at the pictures that I've made, you know, of this axe. Let me put those down here actually. And kind of figuring out, you know, what are the elements that I want to keep in each one, what's important, what's the look. So yeah, and just get the proportions right, because, you know, in all these different drawings, I can be, oops, wrong layer. I can be a little off because where's my lines? What the heck this is weird. Hang on. That's not great. Is it just the brush? Let me go ahead and close this out and try again. Boom. Yes, so that primal gamer, in answer to your question about the creature or creature or dragon, it's actually a wolf. It's like a laughing wolf, basically. Is this working? There we go. There we go. A little blip. No big deal. And I'm working the 6B. Okay. So yeah. Enzo Joetta, hello. Nifredel, hello. Maleficent says, I prefer streaming YouTube to other apps, to be honest. Well, you know what? I probably will too, because I'm pretty much done with, oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong there. I'm pretty much done with Twitch. I'm pretty like fed up with it. I used to be on Twitch a lot, like 10 years ago. I made quite a following. I was doing quite well. And then I took a little bit of a breather, as you do from time to time in life. And I never, and it's like now I go on there and I get like no viewers. And I'm like, where did all your audience go? Like, what happened? I think just people are just not on there for art, the thing. I think that's what it comes down to. That's fine. John Harris from Seattle. You know, I'm originally from Seattle. I lived there for 7 years. My dad still has a place down there in Eastlake. Hi, John. Welcome. Primal Gamer says, YouTube seems to actually promote smaller channels when you stream compared to Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I believe that Twitch is not doing so, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm not bitter. How you guys doing? Yeah, I was just kind of, you know, I started doing this right now. I have not wanted to stream for a long time because I think probably in part because of Twitch was pissing me off as I tried to promote this graphic novel I'm working on. And I just was like settling down to make this concept art that I need to make these not concept art, this orthoscopic views, which is one from the side and one head on, and one from the other angle, that basically are allowed to are supposed to empower the prop maker to make the prop in the way they, you know, to the exact specifications. And because I really want this to be dope, I really need to work really hard on doing this. And I'm one of those like fun, I've been doing so much stuff for this Kickstarter right now that I spend so much time just working on emails and correspondence and this little project and setting up this person, this, and creating this asset, and just being able to sit down for like an hour and a half and just make art, make my favorite cool axe. I was like, this sounds so fun. And then I was like, wait, you should share this. This is an important moment for other people. You know, this could be really fun. You know, so Artes Artifacts. Hey Jonah, fan of your work. Do you ever work traditionally? I do. I haven't in a long time, but there was a period of about a year where I did like a new black and white drawing a day. If you go into my Instagram, you can see it was my Instagram Word of the Day series. And I used pen and ink. And every day my Instagram audience would give me a word. And I would try to interpret that word in like an interesting and novel way. And it was great. And then the stuff I created from that, I made it into prints. And I've been selling them at like Comic-Cons and that kind of thing. Feels better than selling digital paintings. Selling digital paintings just doesn't feel... Even if you print them out, it just doesn't have that same feel to me, you know, in my mind. That's just me. Greetings from Brazil. Hello, Luis Prado. How you doing? Wait, are you Luis Prado who follows me on Instagram, and who we follow each other on Instagram? David Jimenez is from Spain. What's up, man? Welcome. Maleficent, you need a personal assistant. Yes, I do. Yeah, I definitely do. But I do have some help, actually, in all this. I do have some really good project managers. I like them quite a bit. They seem pretty on it. You know, I've had some... everything I have to do for this Kickstarter, it ultimately comes down to me, you know, but I've been fortunate enough to kind of collect a little group of really capable and awesome people who are helping. And so one of those circumstances where if I host this Kickstarter and it doesn't quite go through, what are you gonna do? I left it all in the field, you know. Luis, didn't you just have a kid? Was that you? Was that you? Can't remember. Umber the Prussian Blue. Hey, what's up, Prussian? How are you? Good to see you. Am I? Yeah, Luis, I haven't streamed in so long, man. I was just complaining about Twitch. Any thoughts on the Fallout show? Yeah, I got thoughts. How much time do you have? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, what do you want to know? I guess number one you want to know is, did I like it? Yeah, I did. I did like it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I think it, you know what? I honestly think it's so hard to pull off Fallout live action. It seems like it wouldn't be, but I think it is really hard because I think it's a very particular mix of characteristics. And it's really easy to get it wrong, you know, I think it's really easy to get it wrong. And I was surprised. I really think they did a great job. Like they captured so much of the nuance of that world. They really caught the spirit of the world. I would love to see you do a video after it's ended with your thoughts. I've been thinking about putting that together. I've been thinking about that. I've been so slammed. If I wasn't so slammed, I would immediately put one up. But I just like, you know, I also like want to put up something, but I also want to I want everything I put up here to be like always really, really quality AAA material, which is so lame. Because my video editor is like, don't think that way. And I'm like, but I do think that way. So I want to like overproduce everything, just so it's, you know, good. But I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna do it at some point. I think they might add your Deathclaw in the next season. Guyvan, they've confirmed that there will be Deathclaws in the next season. How cool is that? This looks pushed. The visuals look squished. Definitely looks squished. Why? I'm gonna look into that. Way I can. This is very confusing, and it makes things look weirder for you. So I really want to figure this out. Good. Properties. Second. That's really weird. Louis said, I just put the baby to sleep so I get to have some minutes to watch the stream. Oh, man. Guys, wow. Luis, father of two. What a lucky kid. What a lucky kid that kid has. They have a dad like you. Thoughts on them introducing the adult themes into the universe? Adult, what do you mean adults? Uh-oh, is it not updating now? Oh, no. Uh-oh. It seems I have messed with things. Nature. Wow. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So, guys, this is our first stream. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Exit the program. Yeah, exit the program. Yeah. Job. Okay. Oh. Yeah, what do you mean adult themes? Because it, you know, to me, like all the violence and everything like that is very adult. I'm just happy that the video games are being adapted to other mediums that are actually good and not terrible. Yes, me too, man. Me too. It could so easily. That's the thing. Is this could have so easily been terrible. That's the thing. All right, we're back online, and look, the resolution has gotten better. Great. All right, let's get to it. Gallahorn is already my favorite. My apologies to the cute worm and the cute skeleton. You know what, Maleficent? That is totally fine. That is by design. You know, people have been asking me a lot lately, if I made the death claws sexy on purpose. This is a real theme in my life at the moment. Life is weird. Life takes you in weird directions. And the answer to that is no. But I made it, tried to make it as cool as possible. Am I trying to make Gallahorn sexy? Yeah, he's awesome. He's sexy. He's basically a hero, but a villain. You know what I mean? Like he is the hero of his own story, and he's the villain. And that's why even this axe here, it's got a silver head on it. So it's not like heavy black iron. It's actually kind of bright silver in general treatment. And I'm doing that because, to me, Gallahorn is a hero. He's just pointed in the wrong direction and like can't understand that he's on the wrong side. Cannot possibly understand, at least not yet. Mike Jemmy says, I'm pretty curious of what engine you're using to make Quiet Level 1. Analog, my friend. It's a graphic novel. It's not a video game yet. The whole point is to create a world that like is reminiscent of video games, but it's not a video game. It's a story. But with that said, like obviously with the name like Quiet Level 1, I am trying to encourage somebody to make this into a game, you know? The thing about this axe, to do it justice, is you really need to like focus on the big shapes. It's like not just about the wolf head looking cool. It's like it's got to be shaped for kind of maximum impact, you know? I don't recall sexual themes being as prevalent in video game series. No, they weren't. But you know, I think it's different when like your main characters are like actual humans who are sweaty and desperate and very attractive. You know, and it makes. I think it also makes sense within the story of, you know, like the comparing and contrasting like the prudishness or supposed prudishness of the 1950s with like this new world and vault life. You know what I mean? Like the idea of, I don't know. It's just interesting. So I'm into it. I'm into it all. I'm here for it all. I think for them to ignore that stuff would feel artificial. I think would feel like not correct. Like it would, or it would feel like incomplete. Like it would actually feel kind of childish to me if they didn't have sex somewhere in there. But you know, there really wasn't anything much, you know. Death claws aren't sexy. They are badass. Well, I think for some people they are sexy. You know? As I've said before, I won't yuck anyone's yum. And if somebody wants to have an emotional connection with something I made, well, that means I must have done a good job. So, if you haven't seen the adult themes in video games, just check the mods. Curious to hear your thoughts on Elden Ring. I got a lot of Skyrim vibes while playing it. Oh, hell yeah. I got, not only will give you my thoughts, but I will give you my YouTube link to this video. Elden Ring. Okay. Copy link address. All right. Here's my thoughts about Elden Ring in a video, so you can go ahead and watch that in your own time after the stream. But it was awesome. I loved it. It was unlike any game I'd played in a long, long time. And it did what I really want a lot of video games to do, is it provided a sense of like nostalgia while being something completely new, you know? Like there's something wild about like, and wild and really cool and demonstrative of like great creativity. That you had basically a Japanese game studio. This is their take on Western fantasy, you know, dragons and such. And it just showed, and I mean, obviously, like it's fantasy, so they added all kinds of elements, but it's essentially like, you know, I think that's part of why it was such a success compared to like Sekiro and things like that. But I just thought it was awesome. I thought the world building was tremendous. In fact, the world building was much better than like character development, for instance, or characters at all. I didn't get any sense of any character from like anyone in the entire game. There was very little personality on display. But you know, that's okay. It's not Zelda. You know, that wasn't what it needed or leaned on in any way. And I felt that the combat was fun and unique and punishing, and yeah, I loved Elden Ring. Axe is looking sharp. Get it? Nice, dope. Still, I'll tell you what, sir, you still got it. All right. All right. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get these like angles right. Let me look up at my reference again here. Some of these, like this one, I'm not taking as seriously, but some of these, like obviously this, I spent a lot of time on it, and I have a lot of sharp teeth. It's kind of actually very unlike a wolf. Maybe I need to like think about that, but it does look so cool. I think there's like there's like a double set of teeth here. Let's try that out. Do the one set of teeth, and that one set of teeth, you really got to like revel. Oh, that actually kind of pushes forward a little bit. Let me try that. Wait. Sorry, pardon my muttering. I'm just trying to figure out what's what, all this madness. Periodically, by the way, during today's stream, I'm going to be reminding you guys that I'm making this for a graphic novel, and that you can follow along in my world building with my Substack, or follow along on the project on Kickstarter right now. There's the link. I just popped it in the chat. And remember, clicking follow on the project, it doesn't mean you're committing. It just means that you're expressing interest. And I got to say, it helps the algorithm on YouTube, on Kickstarter, prioritize this graphic novel. So, you got a moment. Do me a favor. It's a badass design there. Very clever. Thank you, Dope. Do you mean, you're talking about the axe or Elden Ring? I love the axe. Okay. Oh yeah. So Dope. You'll think this. You'll enjoy this. Do you know Punished Props by any chance? They're out in Seattle. I spoke with Bill of Punished Props a couple days ago, and he is like very down to make this axe in real life for the Kickstarter. And I was like, oh my God. So that's what I'm doing here. Followed it. Thank you, Prussian. You know what, Prussian? Let me tell you something honest. I knew you had my back. Thank you. Thank you. You don't know who you can depend on, in the sphere of people you meet online. But you've had my back for like years, so thank you. I want you to know that I see you, not in any real sense, except for like I see your character and I feel the support. So thank you. Oh, the axe. Thank you, Bill Pope. Appreciate it. Smoking a copy. I didn't see you there. Good to see you, man. Welcome. I love Elden Ring, but I gotta play with a sitcom in the background because the world is so depressing. Amazing. Gavin Ivanov. I followed it, dude. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. Yeah, I love the axe, man. It's got as I was mentioning before, it's like it's supposed to be scary, but it's not supposed to be evil. It's supposed to be more like kind of almost tribal, when I think about this axe, I think about this like silver pendant I had when I was like a teen during camp. I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it went, but it was I'm from Seattle, originally, and it was of a Northwest Native American raven. It was just in the shape of like just a block, but it was like a thick, heavy piece of like pewter or whatever it was with this raven in it. And every time I look at this axe, it feels like that to me. It feels like heavy and carved and like a single spirit off a totem pole. You know what I mean? Like it's so it feels like I'm a big fan of the design of trying to continue to like basically make it as cool as possible. And I really want I just know that Punished Props is going to do just a beautiful job. All right, so I think I'm going to try to figure out how to make what I'm going to do with the teeth, because I don't know that I want. Maybe do I just want something like that? When you do that, though, it becomes a little bit less of it becomes more of a serpent. I feel like this is an ear, right? Kind of. Have you ever tried forging in real life? Made me appreciate weapon design a lot more after I gave it a shot. No, I did design jewelry. I did jewelry for like a year in college, and just like the patience of small metals is like crazy. Forging, no, never tried that. There's a guy I follow, Matt Stagmer, on on Instagram. He's not like the biggest or like best forger out there. He's a really nice guy. He does some cool stuff. But like, he and I have chatted about the possibility of like the collaboration, and just the idea of like, oh, I can design a sword and then like somebody will actually forge it. Like that's the coolest thing ever. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a montage right there. It's just me and I'm designing. No, it's not this. It's not this. I'm throwing paper over my shoulder. Oh, I'm just back to it. Drinking an energy drink. And then I hand it off to him, and then he's like, does that thing, and then like puts on the apron and like ping, ping, ping. We are making a sword. Like that's the dream. That's the dream. Sorry, got a little intense right now, but I'm not listening to any music. So I gotta make my own energy. Jose said, hi, I loved your Fallout Creatures video. Thank you. And thank you for following me from that video. I appreciate that. Monday is a year of your QL1 Instagram. Does the narrator worm have a name? I might have missed it. What does he mean Monday is a year? Does the narrator worm have a name? No. Narrator worm does not have a name. It is simply the narrator worm. Narrator worms, maybe somebody else will give him a name at some point in the story, but the narrator worm by default does not like when people refer to him, and actually like won't acknowledge when people refer to him or them, because there's many different kinds of narrator worms. Yeah, it's a very like kind of uncomfortable situation for them. So no, does not have a name. Have you been streaming on Twitch lately? I've been busy with work, so I haven't been on it recently. Not at all. I got sick of Twitch. I just felt like Twitch wasn't sending me any viewers at all. I would go like a week of streaming a couple times a week and not get a single new follower. And I was like, dog, I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to meet people. You are not helping. How do you make sure, says Mike Jemmy, not to over-design something, or is that not a thing? That is a thing. How do I make sure not to over-design something? The fundamentals of the thing are what matter. The very simple lines. So for this, for instance, it's like this line is so important, like getting that line, and this line is so important. And then beyond that, like these lines are important. And like then like this line is important, you know? Like those are the arcs of power, those are the lines of power, you know, more or less. And so you can do it's a shape that automatically is like pointing in an arrow, like in a direction, like it wants to go always in this direction. It's got a lot of power and force and like mass to it. And the mass, if I was to extrapolate outward just by these, I would show you the mass. It's like a bullet that's been flattened and just like coming out. And so ultimately, so long as you are paying extreme attention to these fundamentals, elements of the design, in fact, even just seeing that now, I'm like, oh, I could go harder with her or whatever. Once those are in place, you don't have to do much more, you know? And anything else you do after that, just make sure it doesn't interfere very much with that primary message. And then you can just walk away from it. Bushman says, I'm playing Fallout 4 while watching. All right. I wonder if like just hearing my voice has got that Pavlovian trigger of like wanting to play it. I think just some more diamond-shaped back teeth would still give off wolf vibes. I think so. I think you're right. Your Quiet Level 1 Instagram account first post was May 6th. Was it? Oh, no kidding. Oh my goodness. A Maleficent. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. I'll celebrate the special post on the 6th. Is that Monday again? Yeah. Thank you for telling me that. That's awesome. Okay. I stumbled upon your work a week ago. I'm so lucky to see this right now. Oh, thank you, Gavin. I appreciate it. And thank you, Hossein, for seeing my stuff. Check out my Skyrim video as well. I think you might enjoy that. I wasn't getting stream notifications from Twitch either. I have to continually go back and check my settings for each channel. Well, you know what? I think I'm done for a while with Twitch. I just like don't feel the good vibes from them, from that app, from that platform. And see, I'm actually even going to use these lines here, which are so strong, to kind of just do gentle pushing. Yeah, and I felt like I already have a bigger following here than I do on Twitch, and so why don't I just move over? Thank you, Jovial Fellow. Thank you for watching that. That's okay. Sorry, I'm starting to fall behind on the conversation. I don't get the S doodly bit. You mean the tongue? Maybe you could replace that with little grain legs and then give a wavy edge to the blade, which is now the spine of the dragon. No. This is locked in. I appreciate Chrome. You're very, very welcome to like give thoughts and advice, and usually I'm all about that. But today I am not changing the design. I am perfecting the design because it's going to be sent to a prop maker who's going to just knock it out of the damn park. But the S shape is supposed to signify a laughing tongue. The thing about the villain is that you can't really see his face very well. He wears a huge helmet, and you can see his mouth all the time, but you can't see his nose, and you can't see his eyes, most importantly. And so there's an aspect of this laughing, roaring wolf head that it kind of stands in for his personality a little bit, you know? Janice Gray just followed the Kickstarter campaign. Woo! Thank you, Janice. Thank you very much. Gavin, in less than 2 days, I've watched everything you posted on YouTube and Insta. Damn, I need more content. Oof. That's really funny. Didn't think of the Fenrir biting off Terry's hand next to the axe. Oh, yeah? Well, tell me about that. What did Fenrir do? He bit off Tyr's hand. That's cool. What's up, Pip? Nice to see you. Hussein says your comic seems cartoony and fun. Too bad I can't get it from Iran. You can't. Does Kickstarter not? Do they not have Kickstarter in Iran, or they're not like allowed, or something, or is it a blocked site or something, or? Yes. Well, yeah. I hear you on this. I'm not seeing it. So yeah, this is the mouth, and then it's kind of like a laughing. Not a good line. Why don't you undo those, Jonah? All those little lines you just made. Do one, smooth one. There we go. So much cleaner. It's like a tongue. I like it as a tongue. It's like a giant jawbone. Yeah. So like here's the. I think I have one more tooth in the design actually. Let me make sure. Do I? No. I leave the teeth down at the end. Okay. Great. Never mind. Tongue. Oh, you don't have credit card. I see. Yeah, the jaw is facing him. Exactly. That's right. So he kind of cuts it with like the spine of the thing, or like the mane, the wolf mane. Future video idea or any tidbits? Would love to hear about the experience working with the late great Adam Adamowicz. That's a good question, a good point, Colossus. I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, man. I mean, to do that, I've thought about that for sure. It's a fine line because if I were to do that, I think I would need to bring in other people because I have written articles about what it was like to work with Adam on Kotaku. I've mentioned him now in 2 separate YouTube videos. At a certain point, I don't want to use his memory too much to like I don't know, to move forward. I don't know. It's a hard balance where you want to both eulogize somebody, but you don't want to be seen profiteering off of their memory or what have you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a weird thing to say, but if it was the kind of thing that I would do, I would have to talk to Ray Lederer. I would have to, Adam's mom wrote me a letter and sent me some of his art after I published that article in Kotaku about him, and she. I think I would need to speak to her, as well. Like actually, not just speak to her, but like, I don't know, like even interview her, like that kind of thing. Like if I were to do it, I would have to do it up proper, I think is what I'm trying to say. And it's a daunting prospect, Yeah. Norse myth, says Shipip. The hand is located conveniently in the mouth when wielding it. I thought it was a cool coincidence, but you know what? I don't know anything about Tyr and Fenris. Let me just open that up for myself and then read about it afterwards because that would be a nice thing to play on. Tyr put his hand in the mouth of Fenris as a guarantee that if Fenris could not break the latest magic rope that the gods tried to bind him with, they would let Fenris go, or else he would bite off Tyr's hand. Interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to meditate on that. Patrick Rua says it's better to draw standing up. Not necessarily. I'm just doing it. Not that I have like, I got lighting and everything like that. Yeah, there's some side lighting. No, artist, it's not a big deal. It's of course you wouldn't. Like, why would you think of that? It's only because I kind of have already kind of connected with his family and written articles and all that. I just don't want to overstep or whatever. Do you know? I want to go too far, and make it about me. That's all. I think that's a pretty good general weight and shape. I think this needs a little bit of work here. You know, it's a lot of work trying to get everything like just the right angle, you know, of what I'm looking for. But I gotta tell you, the liquefy tool helps a lot. A whole lot. How many years since you started your YouTube channel? I don't know. Couple. I seriously started adding to it just a couple years ago. Stephen Grant just got here. You guys talking about Norse myth? Ah, I love it. Every time you start talking about Norse myth, somebody busting the door late, panting, hair all askew. You guys talking about Yggdrasil or Fenris or anything? Yeah? Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, guys, check this out. What I'm drinking here. This is Arizona iced tea. Fallout edition. This is when you're an influencer on YouTube, companies like Arizona iced tea are like, hey, we have this promotional thing. Are you interested? And you go like, yeah. And they send it to you. This only happens occasionally. But then nothing else. It's always like, do you want this like $20 worth thing? Want to shout us out? I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. But since we're talking about Fallout so much, oh my God, it's so sugary. You know when you can feel it congealing around your teeth, you know? Dope says, found to use a liquefy with the sketch line. Interesting. Dope. I use that all the time. All the time. All the time. In the sketch line, especially, sketch layer. You know, and then I try to do it right when I'm inking as much as possible. But I got to tell you, even after I ink, I use the liquefy a lot. You know, I'm just not that tight with like I'm not one of those artists who can just do this like beautiful, perfect line. Like I just can't. I'm too scratchy. I'm too sketchy. But digital medium allows you to really take control, you know? I feel like it's still not, I feel like it's not, maybe it's not thick enough. Let's go here. Let's grab all this here, the blade part here, and just see if we can just basically just adds weight, you know? Look at that. Look at that. Suddenly this thing is huge, but that's cool, you know? That's really cool. That's a little bit too much, obviously. But like that too much? I don't think so. It's supposed to be like the axe of a fucking badass. All right, great. I never thought about the liquefy tool until I started watching your streams. Life changer. Oh, good. Good. You should go live in a bunch of the process of making your comic. You know what, Gavin? That's what I was doing on Twitch, and that's why I was so like angered that like that Twitch like wasn't helping out because it was just so dead in the room, and I'd be like, yo, I'm trying to, guys, like, I know there's more than like 8 people who want to watch somebody who worked on Skyrim and Fallout and Marvel like make a graphic novel. I know there's more than 8 people. Like this shouldn't be so hard. I'm putting in all the keywords and all that stuff, but nah. So anyway, but here I am. Arizona is the best bodega grab. I need to get one. Maleficent, are you in New York? I love the Jones Soda Nuka Cola Quantum. I asked that just because I never heard anyone outside of New York refer to them as bodegas. The best thing about having the physical version of the axe is that it will be so much easier to draw it at different angles with a reference. Man, that's the thing is I don't even know if I can keep this. Like I mean, like this axe when it gets made. I mean, the actual answer is I won't be able to keep this because like it's getting made for the winner, or not the winner, but the whoever bids on it for the Kickstarter. But if I make enough money, I'm just gonna be like, hey, bro, make one more for me, please. But it would actually have to be like a lot of money because I need money for like life. Oh, it's so bad, you guys. I gotta tell you, I've spent the last year working on Quiet Level 1, first like 8 months of it working on Quiet Level 1, the last 4 months of it working on just like pretty much this Kickstarter. I mean, you know, also things for Quiet Level 1, but that like aren't essential to the progress of graphic novel number 1. You know, or are essential but are not, like basically they're just not. I just haven't been able to make spreads, you know, like in a while, because of this Kickstarter, which is just fine because I'm making other cool things, but you know how it be. But I would really love this axe on my wall. I would really love it. By the way, guys, people who are making this axe are the people who made this thing. This is why I'm excited, because this is one of my favorite personal items. Right up there with the Skyrim helmet up there, which is like very important to me. But like, this thing is dope. I designed this, and then Punish Props made this. It's effing beautiful. They did such a great job. And so I am psyched that I'm going to be making this axe with them, because they're going to do a really sick job. I would just love nothing more than to hang up the axe right next to here. And finally, I already have my like, you know, Dragon Priest mask collection. I got more like over by the window. You see those two, like right, you know, right there and there. But if I can finally start my own fantasy armory, that's how you know I've made it. Oh, it is so sugary. Oh. I'm from New York, said Maleficent. Aha, moved out of Brooklyn a couple years ago. Okay, there we go. See? Bodega. I wasn't wrong. I used to drink 2 of those big Arizona iced teas a day back in college. They were only $1 each then. Wow. Different times, right? Can you please go back to Bethesda and make sure 6 isn't a total mess like Starfield, says Omicron? No. No, I won't. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Okay. Okay. So this is coming along well, coming along strongly. I think we need a little bit more of, you know, I don't know that I like this tongue compared. The question is, which tongue do I want? Do I want this lashing tongue? Or do I want this more laid back tongue? There's arguments for either. What do you guys think? Lashing or laid back? What say you? Do you do most of your iteration in 2D, or do you like to experiment in 3D? I used to experiment more in 3D. Now I never experiment in 3D. I really like drawing. Yeah. For sure. Oh, whoops. The heck? Oh no. I knew I just killed something. 1 second. 1 second. You still see me, right? Yeah, I think you do. Here it comes. Up. What? Okay, great. We're back on. And we're back. Okay. So, so the question is, sorry, back to the question at hand. Do you prefer this version, which has the kind of laid back tongue, which is like fine, and like and you know, the more subdued look could be better. This version is slightly more diabolical. Now, with that said, I don't know that diabolical is what we want, honestly. I think it's better to go with strong and simple, I think. But I want to hear what you guys think. You know what? I am actually going to water it down. Not a lot, because that would make it kind of just gross in general, but just a little bit. I like the one on the right. It's got some extra oomph. What do the rest of you guys think? Shane also likes the diabolical one. I think the version on the left looks like something that someone would actually build. More laid back because the more curved parts could cut the guy. There's that. That's true. I personally believe the black and white line work one works better in shape design. So, okay. Yeah, it's got a little bit more angles to it, kind of. I like the teeth on the black and white one better. Okay. Okay. I think the one on the right is more dynamic when it comes to character, more does diabolical fit? That's the question. Does it, when it comes to character, does diabolical fit? And I think the answer to that is no. I want it to be, you know, kind of unclear what the mood of this axe is. Like I definitely want it to be kind of laughing, but it doesn't need to be diabolical. It could be laughing for any number of reasons, you know. So I am going to flatten the curve of that tongue, and then let's see how I can maybe still get a little. I still want like all right, you know that amazing curve that when a dog is panting, it like curves, the tongue like curves over its teeth and out of its mouth and everything like that. I still want that. The word that comes to mind is lolling. I want a lolling tongue. Does that make sense? Because I think that what that's going to do is also it's going to give us more of like a bowed aspect on one end, and a little bit of a thinning, a little bit slope. You know, so over here it's like a dramatic curve, and over here it calms down and slides. You know, it just creates a nice, feel. And then maybe I want this, give this a little bit more space as well. It would be more sturdy if it was all connected. Yeah, but then it becomes more boring. And what's the point of making fantasy if you can't do something cool, you know? The wood handle is weird on diabolical. Is it weird? Well, the whole thing's at kind of an angle. That also is a thing. The laid one back is better balanced. Yes, it's also a straight on shot though. You're also seeing it kind of straight on, you know. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think it's just a little calmer, I think. Still beautiful, still powerful, what we want. But we want, this looks more like a smiling dog. And I don't want it to be such an innocent, cute, smiling dog. Like it shouldn't actually look cute and innocent, you know. But I'm kind of going for a wolf, you know. That's kind of what I'm going for. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. So it. Looking at the artistry here and how it's supposed to go. Okay, so this kind of like line kind of disappears right here. And oh, you think the tongue starts a little low to register as a tongue? That's interesting. Does it start in the same spot in the existing black and white? No, they're kind of different locations, don't they? That's interesting. Is it meant to be wolfish or dragon-like? Wolfish, yeah. Luis Prado said, also, couldn't the axe be changing as the history goes on? Just as more and more Gallahorn pursues his quest, more and more his gear starts to reflect his leveling up. Great question, Luis. The answer is yes. The answer is yes, except the only aspect of that I'm struggling with, because it's a brilliant idea, is I think that this axe is the embodiment of what could be powerful and and actually kind of good about him, or at least honorable. And I think, and I started thinking about this because the villain, the real villain, the villain underneath the villain in this whole story is the Blade, Threadcutter. And Threadcutter is a deeply insecure son of a bitch. And I don't think he likes Gallahorn. He wants Gallahorn under his thumb. And I don't think he likes Gallahorn kind of carrying this axe that has belonged to his ancestors or was given to him for this role or whatever. I think he doesn't. Yeah, I think he's kind of like, why use the axe? Use me to kill. Like all these things. And so I actually think that the axe might be something that's as he gets kind of like darker and like like more villained out and everything, the axe starts to feel less and less like it belongs to him. And I think when it gets to the point where he throws it away or thinks about throwing it away or whatever, I think that's when he reaches a moment where he's like, oh my God, what have I become? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I think that the axe, I think he will reflect physically upgrades, armor, villainy. I already have a great idea for his cloak. In fact, there's a reason. Let me just show you this real quick. There's a reason that Gallahorn's cloak is only E length. You know why? Because you gotta give him time and space. Oh, great, you're narrow again. Oh no, what's going on? Boot up again. Ah, it's so annoying. Every time I open up a new file, it doesn't know how to handle it. All right, can you guys see Gallahorn there anyway? Let me go back to the previous file and then reload. What was I saying? Yeah, I gotta start this over again. So annoying. Come on. Because I want to leave room for expansion. That cloak is going to get longer and bigger and more badass and all these things. I literally I literally started him off with kind of a short cloak. But one of the first things he does, in fact, the very first thing he does at the beginning of the graphic novel is he kills a character and takes the horns off of its helmet and uses it for himself. Uh-oh, that didn't work. So he's already upgrading. He begins the journey upgrading. Okay, we lost it again. Okay, cool. Just a reminder, I just posted it in the link again. This is for graphic novel. I am pinning my hopes and dreams on this project, so if you have a moment, please sign up. I also have a Substack, which is my entire thought process. I have a new Substack article coming out on this this Saturday. It's gonna be a good one. And okay, now I'm gonna open it up again and see what happens. And you should join the Substack because it's really, really cool. It's for world builders. If you like to be a world builder, if you're an imaginative person, if you're creative, sign up. You'll enjoy it. Your comic seems more serious and darker than I thought. Yeah, well, you would think it would be so cute. It would be a cute, whimsical journey, and it is. There's a lot of cuteness and a lot of whimsy. Great. But there's a lot of darkness as well, because I feel like the world is full of darkness. Oh. It's important to kind of handle that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, are we good? Okay, we're good. All right. So, note to self: you cannot switch out of this program while streaming on the iPad. Good to know. I didn't know. Now I know. So this line just trying to get these lines right. This is supposed to be his ear, the axe's ear. I guess I shouldn't say he. I think this axe is a she, actually. I think the axe is a she. Runa. That's R U umlaut A N A. That is the name of this axe. A lot of the time you might see me just making lines and being like, what is he doing? Why is he erasing that line and drawing it again? Well, I have an answer for you. It's because I'm a madman. I can't remember if I said thank you already, Smoking Okapi, but thank you. You are amazing. You know, I said this also to the Prussian Blue, but Smoking Okapi, I know you got my back as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. And as the same goes for Shapip. Guys, Shapip has been coming up with some really cool lore inspired by the World of Quiet level 1 that they've been sharing with me. It's been really cool. It's just cool. It's just like, it's fun to create something that inspires other people. So if you guys are ever inspired in any way by what I'm doing or whatever, let me know. Share the inspiration. And don't ruin away. Okay. All right. These. Let's do big variation in there. We'll get it though. So the question remains. The question is what to do with this part here with the here. And I think I've already solved this issue for myself. I just need to focus on what I've done before. How have I solved this before? Aspects here I need to push and pull. Oops, when did this go? Okay. I'm just muttering to myself. I'm trying to align certain design elements. So in this particular case, what I really want to align is basically like these horizontal lines. I want them to, and it's kind of starting with the snout. You see how you could almost draw a line through this entire snout, from the snout all the way to the where the axe bends. I really want, like, I want to power that up, you know, basically. I missed the last few minutes. Is there something wrong with the axe head? Why are you adjusting it? Yeah, because I want to maximize. Oops, where'd my selection go? There we go. I want to maximize the design here. I want to make sure that everything is lining up as it should, that everything has enough space. I think it's got to come down a little bit. Because the thing is, I have to be very exact about this, because this is what's going to be made by Punished Props. And so this is an orthoscopic view. So it's completely from the side, right? And it's got to be really accurate, basically, is the moral of the story. It's going to be really on point. And so I'm really like obsessing about every single thing lining up. But like this is how you design something really, really cool, is you spend time to make sure that the fundamental lines that compose its form are maximized. So when I say that, what I mean is, if we go back to this layer here, I want to make sure that like from here to here is like, it's like a line, a powerful line, you know? And I want things to fall along that line. I need things to like angle in and, you know, like drive in just the right way. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of just obsessing with right now. But it's cool because somebody here asked earlier, like, what happens if you over design? And I'm like, well, as long as you're paying attention to these basic fundamentals, you won't really over design. It's when you start getting in the way of these fundamentals that you start screwing up. Now already I'm noticing some things I want a little differently. Question is, why do I flip it back and forth? Well, because it lets me see objectively. It kind of resets my eyes, you know? So I do it a lot when I'm designing. And I think there's something to be said also for these slightly straight edges. Just like, you know, a little bit of an angle there, I think is cool. Maybe one down here, maybe? I can't tell. I also feel like there's a sanctity to that line that I don't want to screw up. Just and so yeah, I mean, if you're not worrying too much about this sketching layer, I love Liquify tool. And it's, I got to tell you, the more I use Photoshop lately, the more I've been annoyed at Photoshop because it has like long weird lag times and things like that. Procreate can't do as much, but dude, it does drawing really well, and the Liquify abilities are really good, like just very strong, very strong. Were you already a good draftsman when you were a digital sculptor? I probably have some mistakes in my English. No, you got it right. Yes, I was good. I wasn't nearly as good as I am today. I've been focusing on, ever since I left Bethesda, I've been focusing on drawing. So I was not nearly as good, but I had a very strong foundation, yes. Eric Erickson says, happy to hear that y'all are collaborating again. Love the last collab. You mean with Punish Props? Oh, me too. And I went out there and I met with them last spring. I came to Seattle to visit my dad, and I was doing it alone with my daughter, which, you know, fine, but this was when she was 3.5 years old and she was leaving her mommy behind and she was just going with daddy and her Grammy, and we were going to go visit her grandpa, although grandpa's no good with kids. My grandpa, by the way, or my father, by the way, is the person I modeled the Skyrim giant off of. But the morning after we got there, she came down with kind of like a horrible sickness and like multiple weird diagnoses that like were kind of suspect, and I ended up taking her to the hospital because there were signs of like possible meningitis, you know, like scary-ish like that, you know. It was fine in the end. It was fine. Like, she did not have meningitis. She was okay, but they did like keep her. We did have to go 2 days in a row to the hospital. My daughter was about as much of a champ as a 3.5-year-old can be. Really, she did a great job. But all to say is, it was a pretty miserable trip. It sucked. And then on the last full day, I was just like, can I just leave my daughter with you, mom and dad, and just like go take the train and like go visit this prop maker who I know via social media, just hang out. And it ended up being like 3 hours of just like dope awesomeness of just like seeing everything he's made, getting to handle everything he's made. I made a whole Instagram reel out of it and everything. So much talent. Bill and Britt got some books from this. That's my Draugr on the front. Foam making. Foamsmith. Sorry, this whole camera is flipped. She's already 3. Oh no, Prussian. This was last year. She's 4. She's about to be 5 in 1 month. Time flies, right? Anyway, it was the best 3 hours of the trip. After like such a long and strenuous trip, it was like hanging out with Bill and Britt, his wife, and they're both just like at their computer, just making cool shit. Was such a pleasure, honestly. And so, you know, they're adults. They got to make money. But I was like, let me just see. And so I called up, or I hit Bill up on the socials. And I was like, hey man, you wanna here's an idea I have. Maybe it's crazy, but maybe you'd have fun with it. And we got on the line last week, and he was like, yeah man, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm like, oh damn, amazing. And like, you know, like listen, if you can't sell it on the Kickstarter, at least I got a nice cool new axe. I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah. So the point is, it's very cool that we're getting together on this project. Very cool. You might consider bulking up the flesh behind the eye. That's a good idea. Make it look like a strong jaw muscles. Ooh, I like that. That's a good idea. Let me think. How might I do that? What's the best way? All right, so I think, all right, in thinking about that, here's the line of action I'm looking at. Just so you guys know where my head's at. Ready? Ready? It goes like this. Up, down, up. You see that line there? That's a line very similar to the crazy expression that Alduin has a lot. It's a sneer, essentially. It's a sneer, kind of. But I think I'm going to be focusing on that as I create this emphasis there. So I might not even connect these lines. They might be unconnected, but they are going to connect in the eye of the viewer. Smoking says, I really do hope Quiet turns out to be a success for you. As a fellow creative, I have so many ideas and projects I've started that I will probably never have the time to commit to finishing. The fact that you've gotten this far with Quiet is an achievement just on its own. Thank you. Thank you. I mean that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm working my ass off out here, and like, there's just no certainty, you know, of anything working out. But I'm doing literally everything I can. I think it's a lot. And if it doesn't work out, like, I actually don't know what I could have done differently, you know, except started being on social, you know, started posting about it on forums and all that like 3 years ago, you know. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, later, Gavin. I like the old nose and front teeth when pointed outwards, where they shape like the end of a warhammer or mallet, so the weapon can be functioning in reverse. Yes, exactly. So you think I should emphasize that more? Probably, yes. Yeah, no, that's definitely what I'm thinking. Oh, you were thinking of, do you mean pointed outwards, like more like pointed like this, which probably it does need? Or do you mean just pushing the whole snout forward? That is what I want. I want something that can be reversible, you know? Colt says, your Draugr model is sick. I got sick of Skyrim fairly quickly back in the day, but I never tire of seeing some of its art. Thank you. Have you seen my ArtStation link with that, with the Draugr model there? Like you can look at the model. See if I can pull it up here for you. Here we go. I also have the female Draugr. Well, look at. Here's my ArtStation. Outwards. Sorry, you mean just the teeth or the whole back? Ah, this is cool. You know it's cool when you like start, after a while you start looking at it and you're like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. It's also funny because like if you watch this from the beginning, you'd be like, what's changed? Okay, so, oh yeah, this is the thing I wanted to do. Oh yes, 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 yes. Thank you for reminding me before. I'm gonna take this whole area here. Another thing, this is why I love, listen, this is why I love Liquify, guys. Look at this. All right, and then I'm gonna just give that, as you said, just a bit more space, a bit more body. And this. I think nose pointier and teeth pointier. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I'm down with that. The nose, you know, if I wanted to register as a wolf, I do need to make kind of a pointy nose. A wolf's nose is kind of like a defining feature of it. So probably I should do that. But I don't want the nose to take priority. And you don't want the teeth to be necessarily you don't want the front teeth to take precedence. You want to kind of have some control. Hang on, I'm buttering to myself. Let me move this handle. I think this tooth is out the way. And let me just focus on just that fang is too thick. And then out a little bit. Okay, not bad. All right, and then I'm going to take this back in. And the question is, do I want to angle this more like that? I think so. It's good. Something like that. Okay. Smoking says, nowadays you really got to play the social media game and just pray it gets picked up by the algorithm. Might be a good idea to do some research on ways to get quiet out there more effectively. Thankfully, I have people who are helping me out with that, who are really, truly doing some research, you know, and really, truly trying to figure out the best places for me to post and be active and be noticed and like. Okay. All right, I'm going to see this through clearly again. All right, it's looking pretty strong. Looking at literally from all angles. There's still, I see. Okay, there's a couple of detail differences here. The teeth here are all right, there's a couple things going on here. These teeth are too long. Okay, that's one thing. And these teeth are also too long. Okay. Good. Let's get those a little shorter. And then this needs something resembling. Probably I should like flare it or something, right? What do you? I don't want to make it like too. Oh, you know what? Let's go like that. That's fine. Doesn't quite fit in there. Out of curiosity, says Eric, what was the process like when working on Marvel Anatomy? Like, did you reach out to Marvel? Did you have to stick to certain comic canon? Yes. So I did not reach out to them. I was reached out to by by Chris Prince, who worked at a place called Insight Editions. And he had the license and the manuscript to make this book. And he had been following me for my work on Skyrim and Fallout. And so he approached me for that purpose. And we eventually handed out a deal. And so I worked primarily for Insight, but Marvel had to approve everything I made. Now, I think it was actually because I did the work primarily for Insight and not Marvel directly. I think that's what made it actually, working on the project, actually kind of easy and bearable. Because Marvel, I don't think they knew what they wanted or what they were getting, really. I don't think they knew what they were getting. I'm trying to figure something out. Figure out what's going on. Resolve this. Yeah. And so I think whenever I showed them something new, they were kind of like, "Oh, cool, yeah, okay." You know, I think they just did, because they didn't know what they wanted. What they appreciated what they got, and so there was only a couple times when they wanted me to use this outfit over this outfit. You know, like they didn't want Mohawk Storm, they wanted regular Storm, but I insisted on having one of the pages be Mohawk Storm, and so I was allowed to do like one spread mohawk and one spread normal, you know. This actually dives down. You know what? That's a line I missed there. This line. All right, just trying to figure out. Who is your narrator worm inspiration? You know, I don't have one. Sorry, let me tilt my whole thing a little bit closer like this so you're actually seeing me. Let me think about that. I'm sure I have some kind of answer, but I can't think of one right now that I have. I think the narrator worm came to me in pieces. You know, I didn't want a corny narrator character. I didn't want a narrator, like an all-knowing narrator. But having somebody who can speak, can fill, you know, part of it is like if you're reading a graphic novel and the character's wandering around the world, the words are, you know, they're an important part of the novel aspect of a graphic novel. They help to add so much. And having a silent protagonist is really, really, really hard to do. But if that silent protagonist has somebody who's always talking and doesn't have to be just conversating, but like is actually talking, it was just a cool idea, you know? And, you know, it was a situation where like I was kind of like, that would be kind of funny, but I don't know if I can pull it off. And then the more I started thinking about it, the more I was like, you know what? I think it would be a really fun challenge to pull it off. You know, because you have to rethink every situation, you know? What happens if they're trying to be stealthy? Is he really able to stop narrating then? Does he just have to whisper the narration? If they go underwater, he can't narrate. And in fact, the narrator might die if they don't get out of the water soon. You know, you can add so much depth, you know. Was there a worm in the Labyrinth movie? What does that worm do, Maleficent? Can you remind me? I was asked in an interview the other day, 2 days ago. I had to ditch one, Labyrinth or Never-Ending Story, and I was like, easy. Ditch Labyrinth, keep Never-Ending Story. That was like, I can't do that to Artax twice. You know what I mean? You cannot have died for nothing. Smoking Okabe says, the narrator worm is my favorite character. I love how he's breaking the fourth wall, but in an old world way. Definitely a stroke of genius. Oh, Smoking Okabe, you. I love him too. You know, it's like funny. Also, like my wife like did not understand for like a while. She was just like, I was like, yeah, it's a narrator worm, but he can only narrate like what's in the scene. And she was like, I don't know. And then when I finally started like drawing him, narrating from the perspective of that scuttlebug at the beginning, she was kind of like, oh, I like this guy. He's funny. You know what I mean? Like that. And now she loves the idea. But, you know, conceptually, it's a very hard idea to communicate, you know? But I think the process of writing this character will be difficult because I will have to, as I said, I'll have to rethink so many things about characters and about his place in this story and all these things. And I think just having to rethink it will kind of force me, I think, to be unorthodox in my thinking. And I think that's what people are looking for in storytelling. They want unorthodox storytelling. They want to be surprised, you know? They want something new. And the more I started thinking about the narrator worm, the more I was like, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen a character like the narrator worm. You know? And just by existing, it makes a silent protagonist suddenly possible. Silent protagonists are interesting always, are cool always, but to make them consistently interesting over a long period of time, you have to have some insight into their head. They can't just be silent all the time. If Quiet was a human, he could really do so much more, but Quiet is not a human. He doesn't even have a mouth or a nose. So, yeah. I love some. The worm is only in the movie briefly, but he kind of serves as a guide to the main character, although he gives her completely wrong directions. That's really funny. Well, that's something that the narrator worm can do unintentionally, is provide wrong directions. You could have outdated information, you know? That's funny, though. I did not remember that. I got to be honest with you, I only watched Labyrinth once. I was in college. And I was with a girl at the time. So I stopped paying attention to the movie. But I kind of remember it. But I don't know, I get it confused with a lot of movies. You know? Not with a lot of movies, but like I'm getting confused with like Legend or something like that, you know? They kind of blend together a bit. I can't believe Snake Eyes was your primary inspiration for Quiet. Yeah, just two little, what do they call them? Pips. Little pips. Smoking a copy. If the narrator worm ever refers to himself in the first person, it'll be such a crazy moment, which is so, yeah, it will be funny. It'll be really funny. I mean, I think he can't. I think if he does, I think it'll be like, I think he might die. I think it will like kind of destroy him to do so. You know, it'll like if the future of the world depends on him saying me, then maybe he could do it. But I think it might kill him. I think thinking of all the ways in which, because this is an important aspect, the narrator worm is still his own character. And so thinking up all the ways in which the narrator worm will be kind of inserting his own thoughts and feelings into the moment is going to be very funny. Because I think you're going to realize kind of early on that as much as the narrator worm seems to know, there is a disparity between what the narrator worm what the narrator worm would like to be the case or thinks is the case and what is actually the case. And so, you know, he's not omniscient, not entirely, and sometimes he's a unreliable narrator, you know. Yeah. Silent protagonist has always been a potential to be cool. I feel like Genndy Tarkovsky's is a master telling stories with no idea. Yeah, definitely. Primal is definitely one of the. I have like an inspiration board of like half dozen things or eight titles, whatever, and Primal's up there, my friend. Primal's up there. All right, I think there's still a little bit of room for a little bit of bowing action. You guys are seeing just how much I'm using Liquify, right? Like, I use it a lot. I also want like this. I think this mouth needs to come in a little bit. Not this part of the mouth, but like just to make the other half feel big, right? Like quite. Sometimes the memory of childhood movie is way better than the movie itself. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I loved The Dark Crystal as a kid, but I rewatched it recently. It sucks. I mean, the visuals are awesome, but like the stories and the characters are just so lame. I mean, not all of them, but like, oof, there's a lot of rough storytelling in that one. And like literally that's one of my biggest inspirations ever. You know what I mean? This show, by the way, was awesome. You ever see the show? I know you did. I'm sure you did. What did you rewatch that was especially cringe? What's up, Storm Rage? Is that my buddy Jonah live? Yes, right. It's the first time I've streamed on YouTube actually ever. So I have like nothing else. I have like no peripherals. I have no chat window. I have no little mini games at the bottom of the screen. All right, this is coming along pretty well. Flip this again. Time I flip it. It really does make me see things differently. Okay, and when I see things differently, it makes me think the face is not balanced enough. So let's go in here and give this face just a little bit more space, a little bit more flesh to work with. Have you rewatched Willow? I have. Yeah, it's not great. I got love for it though, you know. When Val Kilmer was really just valing it up, you know, in just the best possible way. You know, he's a star who didn't like age quite as well as everybody else. He's kind of a weirdo, but yeah, is it not good? Is it not that good? I mean, it's okay. You can tell me if it's not. Oops. Pull that out more. Been making her so subtle, it's ridiculous. I feel so silly. But like, I'm telling you guys, the purity of the line work. I'm gonna release a video soon. Not so soon, because I have to focus on this Kickstarter first. I'm gonna release a video all about the Deathclaw. I think I might release it when season 2 comes out and a Deathclaw rampages on screen, kills everybody, and then I'll release a video about how I made the Deathclaw exactly. But like, in this video that I made on Fallout recently, I did not talk about the artistic sensibilities at play in designing the Deathclaw, but I spent so long on that monster doing what I'm doing now, which is taking the big contours and molding them into just the right shapes. Just the right shapes. Let me just see if I can, well, no, I don't want to screw up stream. I'm not going to change I'm not going to show you something else. Never mind. But I'm going to show you like all the exactness that I'm pulling this axe head into place, and I'm just like trying to get it like just all the lines just so much of that I did on the Deathclaw, like just trying to get everything lined up so that it looks, there's a tiger-esque element to it where like lines flow together, even though it's big and scaly and full of spikes, like it kind of flows. It's really important to me. Chicken Run is amazing. Yeah, Chicken Run, yeah. Every once in a while, one of those childhood memories is just as good as you remember. Chicken Run, yeah. Drop Dead Fred. I don't know that I've ever seen that one. Oh, did I get quiet? Was it a phone? Let me just remind everybody. I'm going to do this periodically because this is, you know, this streaming on YouTube is a new thing. I want to do it a bit more. But just a reminder that my Substack is where I teach about world building and all that stuff, and you can find it there via the link I just posted. And the graphic novel that I'm working on right now, again, most of you watching are already there, but I posted that in the link as well. Did you use some pangolin in the Mirelurk King? Good question, and I see why you asked that. I did not, actually. I think ironically because I associate pangolin as being just too cute. Just too cute for words. So no. I think I was thinking more like, you know, koi or something like that, you know? Something slimy and scaly as opposed to mammalian and scaly. All right. Oh yeah. So I was going to do something with this. Let me just try something. I'm going to dip this. I'm going to bring this. Yes, I think that's right. I think just give it way down. Give it some space. Move this away from them. Like when my baby sister was just getting into watching things, I put in the 90s Spider-Man series and it's just as good. Oh, that's so good. I'm glad to hear that. For me, the best part about your death claw design is the claws itself, the way it joints like a raptor claw or an eagle claw. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure it out, what I had to do. But you know that I posted recently on Instagram and Twitter about how the death claws have toe beans. You know, I didn't do that to be cute necessarily. I was doing that because I was modeling it after like actual predator like feet, you know, and like the way that a hooked claw really operates, which is that a hooked claw really is like a digit that bends backward, and then to like hook it, it's literally just their finger. Yeah. I just love the legs being both paper thin and very wide, depending on which angle you look at them. With the death claws, yeah, that's another thing I did about the death claws. They're wherever they get wide in their body, they get narrow on the other axis to make them look both big and fast. All about a woman's imaginary friend, played by Rick Mayall, coming back and causing chaos as an adult. Wait, what movie is that? Loving Tyrael says, hey Jonah, just reading the Starting a Fight article and Gallahorn's monologue during fight. I have to say, I already love him. I love it when villains have characters that are detailed and cared for. Tyrael, thank you. I don't know if you've been following me for a while on Substack or you just started reading while I was streaming, but thank you for reading it and thank you for enjoying that. I really appreciate it. And Gallahorn, even though Gallahorn is the villain of my story, they're very important. And I will tell you this, because Quiet can't speak, and because Quiet is very pure of heart, you know, being pure of heart makes you kind of a little bit boring as a character. You know, like Superman, you know what I mean? And so that was another reason why I didn't feel bad at all about like not having Quiet speak, because I'm kind of like, he doesn't need to speak. All he needs to do is act and hug. Nothing. But Gallahorn, he's out there monologuing all the time. He's got to be interesting because he can't just keep saying evil shit, you know? And in my mind, in this world of fantasy with like strange creatures and giant salamanders and myth and legend and a tree where you can go up levels, etc., you need a human somewhere because you need a point of reference, you know? And so I think that having a villain who is just well written and interesting, you know, to hang out with, I think it's important, you know. He's going to get just as much play time, not just as much, but he's going to get at least 2/3 of the screen time, I think, that Quiet will. Because I think, you know, I kind of look at his journey up the world tree as being a little bit like Thanos. What they did so brilliantly in the Avengers movie, you know, again, I'm not a huge Avengers guy, is they treated is in that first movie, Thanos was the one who had the hero's journey. It was all about his hero's journey, you know, all about the sacrifices and the distance and the things he did to bring his dream life, as nightmarish as that dream was. And it made him arguably the MCU's best villain, right? Because he was actually fleshed out. He wasn't just evil. He wasn't just bad. In fact, movie 1, he was the hero, you know? HTX, hey Jonah, just thought I'd drop by and say hello and hope you're doing well. Thank you, HTX. I appreciate it. It's really good to see you. Hi, hi, hi. Will Gallahorn eventually be defeated by his arch nemesis, Small Doorways? It's possible. It's possible. Will he cling to the giant, oversized horn helmet? Or be humbled by a small doorway? Does he have the strength of character to turn sideways? I don't know. He's a protog, after all, and protog only move forward, not turn sideways, even for small doorways. They would smash the doorway, or they would turn sideways for it. And that's character writing, guys. Oh boy. All right, I think this is getting closer here. Getting closer. Figure out how to make that nose like elegantly kind of make this elegantly part. Wyatt won't have that problem. Nope, that's true. He'll have just every other problem. Just everything else will be difficult for Quiet. Smugtooth, what's up, man? I love it when we have people who normally come to the Twitch stream are coming onto the YouTube. Great. Hey, and there's Ellie. What's up, Ellie? Amazing. Touch that you guys made it. Thank you for making it. We are almost done with this view of the axe. I think we're doing pretty good. Use. Silly man. Everyone has to do taxes. The world don't know. Of course, all do our tax. That's the lesson. All right, level 1. Everyone needs to. Yep. Simplify. Trying to get that. I want that maxed out. I want this curve really being just curvilicious, but in the most cool way. See how you can see how like obsessive I am about these curves. They really matter. Really matter. They are the power of the design. Not all the little details. Okay. This side. Do you think about a Discord server? You know, I have a Discord server which was opened. I opened it for my patrons a while ago. Now I closed my Patreon, and because I just didn't feel like I was producing enough content for Patreon to justify having people pay. So I moved over to Substack instead, where I can do a similar thing to Patreon, but people can access it for free. Made more sense to me to do it for free when I'm trying to. Why would I create a paywall, spread awareness about something I need people to buy to sustain my living? You know what I mean? Thankfully, I've actually had a lot of financial support come in. When I say a lot, I don't mean like actual like objectively a lot. There's just a lot of people coming in and just chipping in a certain amount every month, which is so awesome. I really appreciate it. Big deal. But I'm thinking, you know, right now that Discord is almost a ghost town. There's like 3 active posters. They're wonderful, wonderful to have them. But I'm thinking I might just open it up to anybody who's on the Substack and like actually make it a real community, you know? See any reason why not, you know? And might get a little cacophonous, maybe, but probably not. I don't think people care that much. It's not like a huge active community hub. But it could be really fun. Okay. I don't know. Would you guys be interested in that? Who here would be interested in joining a Discord? Oh, Russian, don't worry about it. No worries at all. No worries at all. Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, honestly, I just felt like people should be getting something, you know, for their patronage. And with Substack, it's like I can write regularly on there and feel good about my writing, and if people want to chip in, I'm like, yeah, cool, like thank you, like that's awesome, like I'll take it, because it does actually take a lot of time to write these articles. I mean, I also love doing them, but it takes a lot of time, you know. But I just like Substack now, and now I just have like a much bigger audience with whom I can speak, you know, as opposed to like dedicated group of like. I would be interested in more live paint, says Luis. I would join a Discord, says Maleficent. Unfortunately, I have to go drive for 4 hours. Thank you. Oh, no. Okay, well, good luck. Drive safely, please. See you again. Thanks for hanging out. So there's one last line that I'm seeing here that I want to point out, okay? That I think is important to notice, because when you see these lines develop, pay attention. Yeah, in your work, I mean, like when you see certain things happening that are powerful, strengthen them. What I'm seeing right now is that line through the whole thing. You know what I mean? And so kind of goes like this. It can go like that. Either way, I want it. I think that's probably a little bit better. I want it to be smooth though, and really. All right. All right. So I've just outlined that for myself real quick. I think turning a Discord into a consistent community can be tough. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I find it hard to find the time to be chatting, you know? It's like there's so many cool links that people can throw up, and like there's so much to see, you know, and talk about, and all these things, and it's can't get distracted. Can't spend that much time chatting. I already have to do it on social media, you know? So it becomes a little onerous. If you had reasons for people to go there, like hosting art reviews or little events for people to show up to. Yeah, I think that kind of thing would work pretty well. By the way, it occurs to me that I've made this tongue still just a little bit out there. I'm wondering how much I should fix it, or like adjust it. It's not, whoopsie, not like really like lashing like it was before, but it's still doing its thing. So, oopsie. Let's see if I just can bring it under control just a little bit. That bass a little bit. Chrome Closet says I would do that. Art reviews and things like that. I don't think it would hurt to open it up. Can put a Discord link on your Substack. Build both simultaneously. Yeah, I guess not. I suppose not. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna think about that, and if I act on that, I might act on it soon. Maybe I'll do that for my Monday post. Maleficent did mention that I, my 1 year anniversary on starting quiet on Instagram, that is coming up. So yeah. All right, guys, I have to sign off soon because I have another thing I need to do before today. But if I get one more person right now, who hasn't done it yet, to sign up for either the Kickstarter, the link I'm posting here, or my Substack, if one more person signs up to either of them, I promise then I will come again and I will stream again sooner than before. sooner than I otherwise would. Like, I just need to know that this is an effective thing, and then I'll feel really good about doing this all the time. So I just posted both links, and if you haven't signed up already and you want more of this content, remember, sign up for the Substack is free, and following the project on Kickstarter is also free. Yeah, get that nice shape to that. Stickers. And oh, it looks weird again. Signed up for the Substack about 30 minutes ago. Thank you, CJ. I really appreciate that, my friend. My last notification about Substack was just a little less than an hour ago. That was you. That was you 51 minutes ago. Excellent. Just seeing if anybody else. Did you post on Instagram that you're streaming? Always good to find out people here. No, I did not, because I didn't know if I could even make it work. I was like, I should tell everybody, but then I was like, but don't do that if you don't have a plan. You have a plan. It's just a little too thin. Thought I was thinning out the right way, but it's a little bit too thin. Maybe a bit meaty. If you guys see any other strangenesses happening, I think I need to bring this a little bit low. It's less a question of realism and more a question of like dynamism, silhouette. I want that silhouette to be tight. That means also I need to take this tongue. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit more fluid. Oops. More fluid, a little bit more. I want that want that line to get curling. I want this line to be like one of the most delicate things about the axe. This little flourish here. Flourish of the tongue, because that's going to create a nice amount of it'll just draw attention to itself in a really way, I think. In a really subtle way. Still feels, pull this up here. Okay. I think somebody here just followed me on the project, right? Did that just happen? Maybe not. It happened. That's good to know. All right. That's what just happened. Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to do this again soon. I want to do this again soon and better. And next time I do this, I'm going to announce on social media. If you stream again and don't post it, you were on both Instagram stories, I will give you a disappointed look. That's totally fair. Totally fair. Dude. All right. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. It was a pleasure. Next time I'll be a bit more suited up and I will be ready to go. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful Thursday. And thank you for hanging out with me while I get to work on this thing. One more axis of the project of this Kickstarter. Didn't get as far as I wanted to, but I'm a perfectionist and that was just going to happen with the thing. So, and I'm still not like there. I still need to figure it out in some ways, but I'll get there. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Luis. And congratulations again. I hope you get some sleep. Prussian Blue, thank you so much. Shapip, thank you very much. I'll do the announcement. Smoking a copy, I got you. CJ Pisano, thank you for setting up for the Substack. Rodon says, hey Jonah, love your work. Funny enough, it's axe designs that I struggle the most with when trying to come up with interesting shapes. Rodon, check out my art station. Go to Jonah Loeb Art Station and look down at the Kraken axe. I think you might get inspired. It's a good one. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jonah. Tyriel, appreciate it. You're very welcome. Have a great day, guys, and I'll be back next week at some point. And I will announce it next time instead of just appearing out of the blue.